welcome back, everybody. In the second half, we are crossing the Rhine, and that means visual imagery. The vogue for Orientalism in the German-speaking world in the first three quarters of the 19th century, certainly, was confined mainly to literature and scholarship, whereas in France, it suffused the visual arts. It suffused the other arts too, including opera. Say, the famous example, Bizet's Les Pêcheurs de Perles, the pearl fishers, that absolutely reflects the French mid to late 19th century Oriental vogue. And we have here the art historian Ben Street, who's going to give us a whistle-stop tour of Orientalism in French art.
Thanks, Richard. Thank you. Thanks, Richard. So yes, as Richard said, it is going to be a very, very brief overview of what is in fact a very complex moment in Western painting. But I want to give you examples of paintings that I think you can hang in your heads for the duration of the concert so that you'll be seeing them as you hear the music. I've chosen them to specifically tie in with the music you're going to be hearing. And when we talk about Orientalism in painting, we're talking about paintings predominantly produced in France, some produced in Britain. As you can see on the slide behind me, I've got paintings by Delacroix, Ingres, and Arthur Melville, who's a less well-known Scottish painter. All of these artists are part of a kind of flood of images that we call Orientalism in painting. A flood of images that takes place from the early part of the 19th century well into the very early part of the 20th, that just so happens to coincide with colonial expansion by the French predominantly in North Africa and in the Middle East. When we talk about Orientalism, by the way, in painting, we're talking about something that is very broadly defined by the artists themselves. When they talked about the Orient in the early 19th century, they were as much talking about Algiers and Morocco as they were talking about Egypt and the Middle East. It was much of a muchness to them, I think, and you can see that, I think, in these paintings.
So to sing the Mélodies Persanes of Saint-Saëns, the distinguished French baritone François Roux, known to many of you from his recordings and his Wigmore Hall appearances.
Sabre